Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. You can watch this news on Vision TV 247 and other social media platforms on your screen. I'm Comfort Amadu. The headlines. Former President Buhari plots developmental policies and programs of present administration. As this year's Ramadan fast approaches, Muslim women advise faithful to intensify prayer for the nation. India's election umpire resigns few days to general elections. Welcome to the news at 7. A U.S. military ship has sailed towards the Middle East carrying equipment to build a temporary pier off the coast of Gaza. And the support ship, General Frank Betson, who set sail from a military base in the state of Virginia, says the ship is carrying the first equipment to establish a temporary pier to deliver vital humanitarian supplies to Gaza. This comes after President Joe Biden said the U.S. would build the floating harbor to help get aid into Gaza by sea. The UN has warned of hunger and also says that children are starving to death. Aid deliveries by land and air have proved difficult and dangerous. Lufthansa's cabin crew union has called a fresh two-day strike across two of Germany's busiest airports, Frankfurt and Munich, taking place on Tuesday and Wednesday. It is the latest in a series of strikes to affect the German airline, and the union's announcement comes days after Lufthansa announced record profits for 2023. Lufthansa said around 100,000 travelers are likely to be affected. The strike will cover all departures out of Frankfurt Airport on Tuesday and all flights out of Munich on Wednesday. Away from that, Portuguese voters on Sunday cast their votes to decide between switching to a centre-right government or keeping the centre-left in power. The far-right Chega party has been growing in number and could play a role in post-election talks. The issues dominating campaigns in the Western Europe country include a crippling housing crisis, low wages, surging healthcare and corruption, which is seen by many as endemic to the mainstream parties. Polling stations opened at 8 a.m. local time and closed at 7 p.m. in mainland Portugal and are later on the Azores archipelago, while results are expected around midnight. The early election 4 months after Socialist Prime Minister Antonio Costa's sudden resignation amid a graft investigation again puts him against the other two centralist parties, and the Socialist Party and the Social Democratic Party. India's second highest ranked election commission official has resigned days before the expected announcement of general elections, in which Prime Minister Narendra Modi will seek a third time. Francis Udoja reports that the Indian Ministry of Law and Justice made this disclosure.
India's second high-ranked electoral official, Arun Goel, resigned Saturday, leaving the Election Commission of India with only one of its three top officials to conduct what will be the largest exercise of democratic franchise in human history. Nearly 1 billion people are eligible to cast ballots in the elections likely to be held between April and May. The Ministry of Law and Justice said Indian President Draupadi Murmu had accepted Goel's resignation but did not give a reason for his departure. Reports say Goel had resigned due to personal reasons. Another official had retired last year and the position has not yet been filled. The dates for the election, which will be conducted in several phases, are likely to be announced next week, according to local media reports. Francis Sudojo, NTA News.
Dozens of supporters gathered outside the headquarters of the NTAi President Coalition to celebrate the start of presidential campaign by anti-establishment candidate Basero Diomaye Faye. Francis Udojo reports that Faye has been behind bars since April 2023, but is hoping to benefit from an amnesty law that would allow him to contest in the polls.
Faye's potential release, as well as that of his party's leader, Ousmane Sonko, who has been barred from running in the election, the coalition believes could fire up the election campaign. The coalition of anti-establishment candidate Basirou Diomaye Faye began its campaign on Saturday with the presentation of its program to the press. Sonko's speeches against the elites, multinational companies and former colonial power, France's enduring influence in Senegal, resonates with younger voters. Faye is confident of claiming outright victory in the first round, so too is Amadou Ba, the candidate picked to represent the outgoing president's camp, who was due to meet with his campaign team. He met with Sidiki Kaba, who succeeded Ba as prime minister after he resigned on Wednesday to allow him campaign for the presidency. According to the United Nations, the fight to restore an election program in the last few weeks has been tense, with the attachments to democracy in a country of 18 million people that is among the lowest 30 in the world for human development. Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Devoting the whole year to celebrating the outstanding feats of women globally for the Indian High Commission in Nigeria would not be a bad idea. Aside the call to action for gender equality, the embassy honored some Nigerian women for their contributions to the development of the Indian community in the occasion of the 2024 Women's International Day in Abuja. Charles Alpha reports.
From business to politics, foreign missions, sports and aerospace, the Indian High Commission knows the imperative of women engagement in all spheres of life. For this reason, the embassy decided to honor their women counterparts in Nigeria for outstanding achievements in various fields of endeavors, and this came as no surprise. Director General of the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, that of the National Identity Management Commission, and a Nigerian actress, filmmaker and singer, Rohama Sadao, were among those recognized by the Indian Embassy.
I would say it's an honor. NAPTIP and the Indian High Commission, we've had a long collaborative relationship, and very recently we've been able to rescue a few Nigerian women in India.
I love seeing how women are being celebrated. Hardworking, resilient women is really a very good thing.
Each of these women have achieved and they have shown to the next generation and to the forthcoming generations what a woman can do, and that is the reason why we decided to mark the occasion of the International Women's Day.
Just as the International Women's Day offers great opportunities for gender equality and inclusion, for the High Commission in Nigeria, there is no limit for their women, as it strives to preserve the rich traditional history of women through empowerment and skills development. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And women are set to face common challenges and biases in various aspects of life, including at the workplace and politics, home life and the society. The chairperson, Police Officers' Wives Association, Cross River State, says supporting one another will create a collective strength which will help overcome these barriers and promote gender equality. Details with Achibong Basi.
Outlining the benefits of women supporting each other, Mrs. Julia Augustine Grima emphasized the benefits include cheering each other on, offering love when it is lacking, support when it is needed, and encouragement when life feels like more than you can bear. These relationships, she stressed, are truly a gift.
That is through the initiative of Pastor Dr. Elizabeth Igbetokun. She asks us that we do our best and empowered PW, that is police officers' wives, and then LAPOA, which is late police officers' wife. They are so excited.
The Commissioner of Police, Cross River State Command, Master Augustine Grima, congratulates the women for their enormous contributions in their family, society, and nation building.
Whatever you must have discovered today behind this International Women's Day celebration, go home and make sure you put it into proper usage.
The unique benefits of coming together as women to support each other was reiterated in a lecture delivered by Mrs. Victoria Ayo.
Women are encouraged to take up political positions. Women are encouraged to come out and contest.
I'm very happy and excited that today I am a beneficiary of this benevolence.
The theme for the International Women's Day 2024, Inspire Inclusion, is aimed at forging women's economic empowerment, recruiting, retaining and developing diverse talents, as well as promoting creative and artistic talents of women and girls in Calabar. Ajibombasi, NTA News.
Ekene Ndulue reports on clerics' advocacy for increased participation of women in politics and governance of Nigeria, describing them as agents of development. This formed part of messages delivered in some churches in Abuja on the commemoration of this year's Mothering Sunday.
It is the Mothering Sunday, a day to appreciate women for their resilience and sacrifices. At the Cathedral of Unity, Methodist Church, Abuja, the church is recognizing the roles of women in character molding and is charging them to rise and build a more sustainable society.
Because we know that when they give them that opportunity, not only will they rise, but they will also build credible nation, they will build credible children, they will build a future for us in which we all will be proud of.
We need to mold our children. We need to rebuild the fallen walls in our societies as women. We need to come alive and build what is expected of us.
At the Transfiguration Church Anglican Communion, this drama by the children's class tells the story of the endless roles women play in society. The church is also urging them to remain prayerful in the face of economic problems and security challenges in the country.
The role of a mother at this time, both for the family, the children, the husband, the nation, is to keep praying for a better Nigeria. And we should keep doing that which we know to do best, be supportive.
Coming on the heels of the International Women's Day, the women are canvassing for increased investment in women to accelerate progress in society. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
As this year's Ramadan fast approaches, Muslims, especially the women folk, are advised to take advantage of the benefits of the holy month to intensify prayer and also redouble efforts towards feeding the needy. This is coming during the annual pre-Ramadan lecture series put together by the Federation of Muslim Women Association of Nigeria FCT chapter. Salwa Kali reports.
It is a spiritual season when Muslims are expected to rededicate their time to worship. The season, however, comes with a lot of food processing for the family or almsgiving at dawn. And so, Muslim women from across the Federal Capital Territory are gathered here for the pre-Ramadan lecture.
You can never be humiliated. You help the distressed. You help the orphans. You help the needy. And you take care of your relatives. So I am sure, and that's what Allah will not disappoint you. Oh Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Islamic scholars say there is reward in cooking and sharing of food. They, however, reminded women on the spiritual benefit of the period while emulating Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his household.
Serving the family is one of the roles assigned to them by Allah, but it's notwithstanding they cannot abandon the role of Allah because they are serving the family. Or they are cooking and whatever. They should cook at the same time, take care of their ibadat and do the best they can to try to achieve something this much.
For us to achieve what we are bargaining for, what we are bidding for, that is the Jannatul Firdaus, we need to bring our women close to us and invest in them and make their future bright so that the family will keep moving and will succeed.
This is in addition to a general reminder for Muslims to pray for Nigeria and uphold the spirit of neighborliness. Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
This news is live on NTA International. More reports ahead. Stay with us. Welcome back. The federal government is leveraging on cutting-edge technology through digitization and adequate funding to deliver quality healthcare services to Nigerians. And that's in line with its renewed hope agenda to transform the sector. The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, delivered the mandate of the federal government to 150 regular meeting of the Committee of Chief Medical Directors and Medical Directors of Federal Tertiary Hospitals in Nigeria held in Abuja, Ogun State. Hakim Jumor reports.
The meeting brought members of the Committee of Chief Medical Directors and Medical Directors of Federal Tertiary Hospitals in Nigeria and other stakeholders together to chart the way forward on the global trends in the health sector. The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, expresses the determination of the federal government to truly transform the sector through adequate funding, which is visible in increased budgetary allocation to the sector in the 2024 fiscal year.
And this money, the President has mandated us to spend it to improve infrastructure in our hospitals, to improve infrastructures in our primary healthcare centers, where care can be brought closer to the people of the community, and also to modernize our hospitals, our primary healthcare centers with state-of-the-art equipment. The President is also working on comprehensive package, welfare package for healthcare workers, and more so the entire workers in the country.
The Medical Director, Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta, Professor Adewale Musa Olumu, and others appreciate the federal government for its unwavering support to federal tertiary hospitals across the country, and like Oliver Twist, solicit for more funding.
If we have power supply adequately in all our hospitals, we can assure you that we perform far, far better.
There is, however, renewed hope for us with the prioritization of the health sector under President Tinubu's Health Sector Renewal Initiative.
The minister thereafter led the delegation to inaugurate a number of state-of-the-art ultra-modern projects within the premises of the Federal Medical Center, Idiaba, Abeokuta, which includes molecular laboratory, resident doctors' lounge, isolation center, intensive care unit, office complex, internal audit building, among others. In Abeokuta, Hakim Jimoh, NTA News.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari has applauded the developmental policies and programs of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration aimed at changing the fortunes of the country. The former Nigerian leader was speaking when he received in audience the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni, who was on a working visit to border communities in Katsina State. Suleiman Kodogi reports.
The former President Muhammadu Buhari urged Nigerians to endure the current economic hardship and support the policies and programs of the present administration, explaining that there will be light at the end of the tunnel.
I thank you very much for coming. I very much appreciate it. And I thought Tinubu has done very well. But Nigeria is so complex, that really there isn't much anybody can do.
Earlier, the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Hadiwale Adeniyi lauded the former president for transforming the Nigerian Customs Service while in office, adding that the service will not relent in securing trans-border activities aimed at boosting Nigeria's economy. The customs boss, in the company of his management team and the controller, Katsina Area Command, Umar Muhammad, also paid homage to the Emir of Daura, Umar Farouk Umar, for his support and royal blessings. At the Kongolam Control Post in Mehadua local government area of the state, the Customs Controller General engaged stakeholders in the border communities, where he assured that consultations are ongoing for the reopening of borders.
This is one strategy that Mr. President feels can help us to address the problem of food security. So those foods that we have seized, those ones that are banned for exports, by the time we restock our markets with these food items, it will have some positive effects on the prices.
The border communities commended the efforts and determination of the federal government, but appealed for timely reopening of land borders to enhance and facilitate trade, which will translate to more revenue generation for the country. The Controller General of Customs also visited other borders, including Meadwa Outstation. In Katsina, Suleiman Kodogi, NTA News.
The federal government is investing in infrastructure across rural communities in Nasarawa State so as to address infrastructural deficits, boost rural economy and accelerate development. Alip Tijani reports that this intervention is with the support of the World Bank.
13.7 billion naira released for infrastructure projects across rural areas of Nasarawa State in recognition of the state outstanding performance in project execution of World Bank support program. The Nigerian COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus (NGCARES), benefiting communities selected from each of the 13 local government areas of the state with priority on areas of need. Already, projects that include road constructions, rehabilitation of schools and healthcare facilities, as well as solar-powered boreholes, among other projects, ongoing to improve socio-economic activities in rural areas.
There's that community ownership, and that's why most of our projects are always utilized. I would say all are always utilized and being protected by the community, because there's that community ownership and the community are given, the opportunity to drive it.
One of the things that is going to give us this number one again is for us to be the first state that will be able to compile everything we have done. This road we have finished it cost us 3 million. This place we have done it cost us 20 million. This borehole we have constructed, it cost us 30 million. Once we do that, we compile. That's what you call accountability.
In addition, the social investment component of the program targets vulnerable persons as beneficiaries of the cash transfer every month, as rural dwellers describe the intervention as apt and timely. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
The consistency of the Nigerian Television Authority in projecting the rich and diverse cultures and traditions of Nigeria has continued to attract accolades and commendations from various quarters. The latest commendation is coming from the Revered Monarch of Benin Kingdom, Oba Iwaye II, when the Zonal Director, NTA Benin Network Center, Phil Obano, led the management of the station on a courtesy visit to Oba's Palace. Jude Abugu reports.
As a medium of cultural orientation, the Nigerian Television Authority, through qualitative news, programs and documentaries, has over the years showcased the cultural heritage of the ancient Benin Kingdom. This has endeared NTA to the revered Benin Traditional Institution, and the visit by the Zonal Director is to strengthen the relationship while informing the monarch about her redeployment to Benin as the Zonal Director. Phil Obano sought his royal blessings and counseling.
Most dear to my heart, Your Royal Majesty, was the role I played when you returned from your ambassadorial duties so many years ago, where I was one of the master of ceremonies. So, Your Royal Majesty, you see that we are strategic partners in progress with the palace. So more than ever before, our work will speak good of the Benin land.
The royal father assured the zonal director of the continuous support of the palace to the NTA.
It will be very, very helpful in projecting the culture of not only Benin, Nigeria as a whole. We pray that we keep doing much better than that, doing well for the good of the people.
The zonal director also used the platform to inform the monarch that an NTA Benin documentary on his ascendancy to the throne and his activities over the years will soon be on air. The zonal director was accompanied by management staff. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
And weather prospect for Monday in Nigeria and other parts of the world is next. That concludes the news at this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Comfort. I'm Madhu. Good evening.